Nonsensical court case between the lords of Bezique, Kissars, and Umven, Sniffart, in Rabelais' Pantagruel, Umven observes that among all good bagpipes, when hunting for birds and swinging a broom around the chimney 3 times, one only blows into the arse, that is, souffler au cul in French, but as soon as we see the letters, the cows will be returned to him. So the process of knowledge exchange with Dominic Hills involved me sending him just the odd saying, like souffler au cul, with a translation, and then he'd come up with whatever sprang into his mind in terms of the image. And what actually resulted from that was that we created even more nonsense or further ramifications of the absurdity that we already have in Rabelais. In Rabelais we have a court case between these 2 lords, judged by Pantagruel, the great giant and apparently brilliant man. As it happens, no one has any idea what goes on in this court case, what any of it means. Even souffler au cul is a rather sort of obscure expression in some ways, but in some ways we really do know what it means. It's what the whole entire passage does. It blows smoke up the ass of the reader, and I guess a lot of legal court cases are like that. This image is of the Latin catchphrase, Scholasticus loquens cum puella, non praesumitur dicere paternoster, which literally means, a student talking with a girl doesn't think of reciting Our Father. In other words, when a young man is talking with a young woman, whispering sweet nothings into her ear, he isn't thinking of reciting the Lord's Prayer. Now this phrase apparently originated with the great 14th century Italian jurist Baldo degli Albaldi, who used it to convey what it is to be presumed guilty. So when I started sharing these weird and wonderful French expressions with Dominic Hills, he immediately thought of Japanese shunga, these outstanding illustrations, often with erotic or comic content. And this particular image is the one that I think is closest to an absolute masterpiece of the genre. It's by somebody called Utamaro, and it's from a book called Poem of the Pillow, and it shows lovers in the upstairs room of a tea house. So one of the things that Dominic and I explored was how these expressions would move from one context to another, and of course that's what we were doing. We were taking sayings from, in this case, the 14th century, seeing how they came up into the 16th and even into the 17th century and then into the present day, and comparing it with Japanese, so it's all kind of going all over the place. But that's how it has always been. So actually the first place I came across this well-known expression was in a particular favourite of mine, an early 17th century French comedian, contemporary with Shakespeare, known as Puisconville. And he uses that saying, the Latin saying, in a speech which, like the Rabelais passage we were talking about earlier, is from a mock court case. And in it, the comedian says that he's seen his opponent in this trial, talking to a young woman, whispering into her ear, and he thinks immediately, well, he's not saying the Lord's Prayer, is he? And Puisconville uses the Latin, and he would very probably have used the Latin in his performance too, because his audience would have got it. He then goes on to say, well, I wonder if his deeds, his actions, will live up to his words, or whether there's a risk he might end up ringing his bells when the parishioners don't want to come.